Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to answer, hopefully, that question that a lot of you have been asking me and I've been asking myself for the past few weeks, and that is my preference, Pat McGrath foundation versus the new #1, the Chanel foundation. I honestly love both of these so much, and before I started filming this video, off the top of my head, I could not tell a difference between them. So in today's video we are going to apply them both, we're going to do a wear test, and we are going to look very closely at the differences, if there are any, between these two foundations in order to determine whether the Pat McGrath foundation is still my all-time #1 favorite or if it's going to get dethroned by the new #1, the Chanel foundation. I'm super excited for the video and the wear test, and ultimately to find out which foundation I like better. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I am so pumped for today's video. I feel like this has been the most asked question on my channel lately, and I wish I could tell you the answer to it, but I really can't until the end of the day today. So we are going to compare my all-time favorite foundation at the moment, which is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime foundation, versus the new #1, the Chanel. You guys know I have been raving about this foundation for the whole month of January. Since I first tried it, I fell in love. I am obsessed with it, but I don't know if I like it better than my all-time favorite Pat McGrath, and so in today's video we are going to figure that out. I'll tell you the differences between the two in case you prefer one over the other, and I'll tell you what my favorite one is at the end of the day today. I am starting today's video a little bit later, so my wear test is not going to be as long, but that is a-okay because I know how these foundations wear like at the end of the day. I know that the look I get 6 to 7 hours into my wear test is pretty much the same I get 12 hours in. Keep in mind I have dry skin, so foundations don't usually tend to fade on me that much. If anything, they just get dry, and neither one of these foundations get dry on me, so the 7 to 8 hour look is the same I have at 12 hours. So let's get started. I am going to prep my skin with some Charlotte Tilbury. I'm going to use my Magic Cream and just distribute this all over my face. Let's do the forehead. My skin feels a little extra thirsty today, so I added a bit more, and now I feel hydrated all over. I'm going to use my Magic Eye Rescue for my under eyes, and I'm just going to tap it right down here. Now, before I even decide where to put which foundation, let me tell you kind of what's going on with my skin. This side of my skin right here is a little bit less red than this one, and it's also a little bit smoother. I don't have a lot of bumps in this side. However, this side, as you can see, has a few little bumps right there, so keep that in mind when we're comparing the foundation side by side, that this side is a little bit more textured already before we even begin. And I am going to use a primer today. I'm going to use my Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas, but only right in the center of my face. So I'm going to just grab a teeny tiny bit. This was probably less than a full pump, and I'm going to distribute it right here in the center of my face. I sometimes get comments about your primer peeling when you mix your liquid silk canvas with Magic Cream underneath, and I'm not going to lie, that totally has happened to me before. You just can't use too much of both. I used a lot of Magic Cream today because my skin felt really dry, so I'm using only a little bit of the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas to really just fill in the pores in the center of the face right here. But if I were to have done a bigger amount, then I would have had it rolling all over my face because it would have been more than what fits in the pores, if that makes sense. That's just the way I look at it, at least. Okay, so I lowered the light. This is my skin prepped for the foundations. My pores look a little bit diminished with that primer, and again, here are the little bumps that I already have on this side, and then on this side I feel like I have a little bit less redness, and I don't see bumps that are as pronounced on this side, maybe like a couple back here. But yeah, that is what we have going on. So now let's go on to the foundations. I have the Pat McGrath foundation in shade Light Medium 9. And this is the shade that I tend to use during the summertime. So I think it's going to be a little bit darker than B20 from Chanel. B30 would be too dark though. So I'm happy with my colors, but just know that they are going to be slightly different on both sides of my face. Let me show you a difference in consistency. This right here is the Pat McGrath foundation, which tends to be a lot more liquidy, as you can see, than the Chanel foundation, which is just a little bit more creamy, but it is very, very thin. They both feel undetectable on the skin, in my opinion, and I really love them both. I'm going to use Chanel on this side. I just put it on the back of my sponge right here, and I'm going to blend it in. And just a reminder, this is my better side at the current moment. And now with the clean side of my sponge, I'm going to grab my Pat McGrath foundation and I'm going to start blending it over on this side. See how this color is a little bit darker than this one? I ended up using like 3.5 pumps of the Pat McGrath foundation on this side and 2.5 because I want to cover up the redness on my cheek a little better of the Chanel foundation on this side. Okay, so I lowered the light once again. Here is the Pat McGrath foundation side. As you can see, and this is definitely one of my favorite things about the Pat McGrath foundation, it looks like skin. It doesn't look like anything is sitting on top of my skin. It just kind of sinks right in, which might be why I had to use an extra pump of it. But I really don't mind having to use a little bit more if the foundation is going to look this natural on my skin. So here's the Pat McGrath side. As you can see, it covered everything. You can kind of still see a little bit of the redness from my bumps coming through right here, but the redness like on the bigger part of my cheek did go away. Then you can still see my freckles through a little bit. And then here is the Chanel foundation, and everything looks really nice and even on this side. This was the side that doesn't really have bumps per se, and it did a good job after I added the extra half a pump at covering my redness right here on my cheek. I think both sides look nice and glowy. Both sides sunk right into my skin. Color wise, and I know that a lot of you don't agree with me, but I do like my Pat McGrath color a little better just because I like to not be super pale. But this color from the Chanel foundation is good for me as well, and I feel like once we put on bronzer and blush and whatnot, we'll barely be able to tell the difference between the two. I'm trying to remember all of the details I want to talk about. As far as pores are concerned, I really can't see much of a difference. I feel like my pores are not enhanced on either side. Yeah, so I think on either side that's kind of where I'm at right now. So let me keep putting makeup on. Okay, so next I'm going to use a little bit of color corrector right underneath my eyes here. This is my Charlotte one, my favorite one, my tried and true. I love this thing. If you use concealer and you see purpley hues come through the concealer, and no matter what you do, it always happens, this is the answer to your question here. You need to put this on first because you need to cancel out the purple underneath your eyes and then put the concealer on over top of this. And I love this one because it doesn't bleed through the concealer. It's just great. Also, you want to only put it exactly where the purple is. Don't go crazy with it. So now I'm going to go in with my concealer and apply it like I normally would. And this is my favorite at the moment, the YSL Touche Eclat Full Cover Concealer. Also, I feel like this is going to help tie my foundations together right here in the center. So I'm going to get a clean part of my beauty blender and start blending it in. And I always take it over my eyelids as well. And with my Pat McGrath Under Eye Setting Powder, which is my favorite ever, I'm going to get a clean Wayne number 3 brush and set the concealer with this. So I have some powder right here, and I'm just going to dust it right under the eye. And of course, we're going to do the same exact thing on both under eyes. Setting my eyelids just a bit right here. I lowered the light a bit so we could see better, and I'm taking a little bit of powder right here on the side of my nose, right here where my pores are, a teeny tiny bit of powder, And again, I'm doing the same thing on both sides. And this is something that I always do. I'm not changing anything, and I'm making sure that both sides get the same amount. And also right here in the center of my forehead and around my mouth. Right down here, I put like whatever was left on my brush. I didn't add any more powder because around my mouth area, it gets a little dry, but then I feel like I also don't want it to be shiny, so I have to like do something. Okay, so this right here is what it looks like with both sides already like concealed and set. So here is the Pat McGrath side. As you can see right here where I put some powder, it's not shiny anymore, but it does maintain the glow all over the rest of the cheek right here. And then here is the Chanel, which as far as I can see, same thing. I'm trying to pay attention to all of the details up close, and this is going to be one top video because I literally cannot tell the difference. Like, I can see that this side looks a little bit darker, but as far as like texture and pores and shine and dryness and all of that, like both sides are looking really perfect, just the way I like them. I have no complaints, so I guess let's just keep going. I'm going to use my Nudegasm bronzer right here, and I'm applying it with my Wayne #1 brush. And for blush, I'm going to apply Nude Venus from Pat McGrath with my Refer #5 brush, which by the way, this brush is back in stock on the Refer website in the concept store with a huge discount. I'm going to leave you the link down below to it in case you guys are interested. This is my favorite blush brush. In fact, if you've been wanting to buy Refer brushes, go check that link right now because they have a lot of bundles and brushes that just came back and they are on sale. Okay, I'm done with complexion. This is what we're going to compare side to side for the next few hours. I am going to do a little lip and some mascara. This is the Pillow Talk Medium Lip Liner. This is a great lip liner for me because it's pretty much the color of my lips. So it looks really natural when I even out my lip line. And I'm using my Westman Atelier lip balm in the color Nana in the middle. This little fancy thing is my favorite. Okay, all I have left to do is I have to apply some mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, mascara applied. I applied my Dark Star mascara from Pat McGrath. Everything I have on my face will of course be linked down below. So if you're going to shop for any of these products, please use my links down in the description box. And well, this is what we have. Like I predicted earlier, we can't really tell much of the difference in color between the two foundations. Maybe we can still tell that this side is a little paler, but like by not much. And as far as foundation differences, I have been looking super closely at both sides of my face, and I really cannot tell a single difference as of right now. So I'm going to give it 3 to 4 more hours and I'm going to get back and check. I feel like I started applying the makeup probably around 3:30. It's 4:30 now. And so I'll try to check back probably around 8 p.m. to see if anything has changed and how it has changed. But let me give you one last close-up with the light turned down so that you can also be the judge and see which one you think is better. Okay, light down. I got you guys a little closer to me. This is Pat McGrath's side versus Chanel. Okay, I don't know about you, but personally, as of right now, they both look the exact same to me. So like I said, I'll check in with you guys later. Okay, it's been quite a few hours. It is 8:09 right now, so like 3.5 4 hours or so. And disregard the eye makeup different video. This is what the foundations are looking like right here. I'm starting to feel like this video was a little pointless because I cannot tell the difference. Like, yes, in color because the shades are different, but like texture wise, size of my pores wise, glowiness wise, like everything looks the exact same. Like, I thought maybe once I wore it for a few hours, I would have one side maybe look a little glowier, like the oils would come through a little bit more in one of the foundations, but so far I think they look identical. I have been staring at my face for the past 3 hours trying to find differences, and I have not been able to do that. So let me show you up close with the light down what they look like a few hours later. Here is the Pat McGrath side. Still glowy over here where I didn't powder it. Still a little bit matte over here where I did powder it. A little bit of oils came through on the center of the forehead, but they also did so on the Chanel side of the foundation. So I have a little oil right here, and then like everything just literally looks identical. Right? Right. 4 hours in, my conclusion is, I don't know, I guess that they're both perfect. I'll just see you guys later. 12:05, which means I have had this on for around 9-ish hours at this point. I'm tired. I am dying to take it off to go to sleep, and I literally don't have any conclusions for you. I'm about to give you some differences between the two foundations, but it's not like wear test differences because both of them look so bomb. They are my favorite for a reason, and I literally still 9 hours into this wear test cannot differentiate them. Neither of them got dry, neither of them exposed my pores, neither of them were off throughout the day. Like, they just both look so nice. Let me give you a last close-up with the light down so that you can see from your end how both foundations are looking. But I have been looking at a mirror like this, and I cannot tell the difference, to be completely honest with you. Okay, check it out right here. This is the Pat McGrath side. And the Chanel side over here. Both of these foundations just perform amazingly on me, and I literally cannot pick a favorite, but I will tell you some reasons why you should buy one over the other. The only pro towards the Chanel foundation is that they claim to have anti-aging properties in the foundation formula with the red camellia extract. So from the Chanel No. 1 foundation, the pro is that it has anti-aging properties. I was looking at the properties of the Pat McGrath foundation, and it says that it's got ingredients for radiance, smoothness, and hydration, but it doesn't talk about specifically like anti-aging properties. It just says hydrating, which is also nice. And then prices, Pat McGrath is $68 and Chanel is $70, so you save $2 on the Pat McGrath one. But Pat McGrath very often has 25 to 30% off sales, so if you can get the $68 Pat McGrath foundation for a 25 to 30% off discount, then the Pat McGrath one is a much better deal. And then shade wise, Pat McGrath also wins. The Chanel foundation has 20 different shades, and the Pat McGrath foundation has 36 different shades, so you have a lot more options on the Pat McGrath side as far as getting the perfect skin match. So honestly, those are the actual difference that I can tell between the two, because this wear test that I did today, it proved nothing. It just proved that both of these foundations are my favorite, my top 2 in my collection, irreplaceable. I love them. Like, it's insane how much they look the same. And then besides those differences that I told you right now, I did mention at the beginning of the video that the Pat McGrath foundation is more liquidy. So I do feel, and this is like, again, just looking extremely closely into it, I took off a little bit of foundation around my nose on both sides because my nose got watery throughout the day. And on the Pat McGrath side, when I took off some of the foundation, because the Pat McGrath foundation is so thin, you can barely tell the difference between where the foundation starts and ends, because I don't really have any foundation right here. Yet because the Chanel foundation is a little bit more creamy, I feel like on this side you can tell the difference a little bit more of where I took the foundation off. So I don't know, that is like the one thing that I could think of. And as far as whether or not they're transferable, let's see. I don't think either one of them came off. that is all I have to say. This video was actually really fun to film because I got to see how my two favorite foundations perform against one another, and I hope that it was somehow informative for you as well. If you liked it, let me know down in the comment section below, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Before you leave, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, my name is Patty, and I would love it if you are here to stay, so please subscribe. But before you leave, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.